The sun hung low over the fields, casting a golden glow across the rolling hills of Willow Lane. The air was thick with the scent of wildflowers and damp earth, a quiet promise of autumn. In the distance, an old house stood alone, its withered clapboard siding peeling like the skin of an ancient tree. Its windows, cloudy with ash, stared blankly at the world, and the sagging porch seemed to sigh under the weight of years. This was the new home of the Carter family, Tom, Ellen, and their two children, Lily and Ben. They had arrived that morning, their pickup truck rattling with boxes and dreams of a fresh start. Tom Carter wiped sweat from his brow as he carried the last box inside. His hands, calloused from years of factory work, trembled slightly, not from the weight, but from the worry that clung to him like dust. The factory had closed 6 months ago, and with it went their savings, their apartment, and the life they'd known in the city. Ellen, with her gentle smile and teary eyes, had found the listing for this house online. It was cheap, some might say, but it was all they could afford. A fixer-up in a forgotten village, far from the noise of the city. A chance to start over. Inside, the house smelled of mildew and thyme. The floorboards creaked underfoot, and the walls, yellowed with ash, seemed to whisper secrets. Lily, 12 years old and curious as a sparrow, ran her fingers along the chipped banister of the staircase. "It is like a castle," she said, her voice bright despite the dim light. Ben, only 8, clung to his mother's side, his eyes wide as he stared at the shadows pulling in the corners. "It is creepy," he muttered, clutching his stuffed dinosaur. Ellen knelt beside him, brushing his sandy hair from his forehead. "It is just old, sweetheart. Old things have stories. We'll make it ours." Her voice was soft, but there was a strain in it, a quiet fear as each hid for the sake of her children. Tom caught her and nodded, to his own diabetes gnawed at him. The house was a gamble, but it was their only one. The first evening passed in a blur of unpacking. Cardboard boxes littered the living room, spilling clothes and kitchenware across the dusty floor. Ellen made sandwiches for dinner, and they had sitting cross-legged on a blanket, the only furniture they'd brought from the city. The kids lied as Tom pretended to steal Lily's pickle, and for a moment, the weight of their troubles lifted. The house, though creaky and cold, felt like it could be home. As night fell, the world outside grew still. The cricket's song faded, and the wind carried a chill that slipped through the cracked windows. The family settled into sleeping bags in the living room, too tired to explore the upstairs bedroom as yet. Ellen read a chapter of Charlotte's Web aloud, her voice a steady rhythm in the quiet. Lily and Ben drifted off, their breathing soft and even. Tom lay awake, staring at the ceiling, where shadows danced in the flicker of a single lantern. The house groaned, as if settling into the earth, and he told himself it was just the sound of an old building. Then it came, a low, mournful sound, like a sigh carried on the wind. It rose from somewhere deep within the house, soft at first, then louder, weaving through the walls. Tom sat up, his heart thudding. Ellen stared beside him, her eyes wide in the dim light. "Did you hear that?" She whispered. Lily's voice came next, small and trembling. "Mom, what was that?" Ben clutched his dinosaur tighter, his voice barely a squeak. "Is it a ghost?" Tom forced a low, though it sounded hollow. "Just the house settling, buddy. Old houses make noises." But as he spoke, the sound came again, a long, aching wail, like someone crying in the distance. It wasn't the wind, it wasn't the pipes, it was something else, something alive. Ellen gripped Tom's arm, her nails digging into his skin. "That is not normal," she said, her voice low as the kid's wooden hair. Tom nodded, his throat dry. He grabbed the flashlight from beside his sleeping bag and stood, his shadow looming on the wall. "Stay here," he said. "I'll check it out." The house seemed to hold its breath as he moved through the dark. The floorboards creaked under his weight, each stay echoing in the stillness. The sound came again, fainter now, from the direction of the staircase. Tom's flashlight beam swept across the walls, catching glimpses of faded wallpaper and cobwebs. The air grew colder as he climbed the stairs, the veil growing softer, almost pleading. At the top, a narrow hallway stretched into darknesses, lined with closed doors. The sound seemed to come from the last one on the right. He hesitated, his hand on the doorknob. The metal was sea, and the door groaned as it opened. Inside was a small room, empty except for a single rocking chair in the corner. The chair was still, but the air felt heavy, like someone had just left. The veil stopped abruptly, leaving only silence. Thomas' breath caught in his throat. He backed out, closing the door, and hurried downstairs. When he returned, Ellen and the kids were sitting up, their faces pale. What was it? Ellen asked. I don't know, Tom admitted. But it is gone now. Let us try to sleep. He didn't believe his own words, but he said them anyway, for their sake. The next morning, the house felt different. Sunlight streamed through the windows, softening the shadows. Ellen made coffee on a camp stove, and the kids explored the yard, chasing butterflies through the overgrown grasses. Tom called and checked the memory of the sound, though. While Ellen took the kids to the village for groceries, he stayed behind, determined to find answers. He climbed the stairs again, this time in daylight. The room at the end of the hall looked ordinary now, just an empty space with a rocking chair. But as he stood there, he noticed something, a faint carving on the back of the chair. For Clara, with love. The words were etched in careful, looping script, worn smooth by time. In the village, Ellen stopped at the general store, where an old woman named Mrs. Hargrave rang up their groceries. Lily, ever curious, mentioned the strange sound Tate heard. Mrs. Hargrave's eyes narrowed, and sh leaned closer. That house you bought, it belonged to Clara Grayson, sh said. Leave it her alone after her husband passed. Folk sh never got over his death. Used to sit in her rocking chair, singing to him at night. Some sh still does. Ellen's stomach twisted. You mean it is haunted? Mrs. Hargrave shrugged. Not haunted, maybe. Just said. Clara loved that house, loved her husband. Maybe she's still holding on. Back at the house, Ellen shared the story with Tom. They sat at the folding table Tate set up, the kids playing outside. What if it is her? Ellen asked. What if Clara's still here? Tom frowned, his practical side wrestling with the idea. It is just a noise. Houses make noises. But that night, the sound returned. Softer this time, like a lulling in the darknesses, it felt less frightening, more like a play. Lily, braver than the night before, crept upstairs with Ben trailing behind. We shall talk to her, Lily whispered. If it is Clara, maybe she's lonely. Ellen hesitated, but Tom nodded. Let us try. If it is nothing, we'll know. They gathered in the upstairs room, the lantern casting a warm glow. The rocking chair sat still, but the air felt alive, expectant. Lily, her voice steady, spoke into the quiet. Clara, if you're here, we're not mad. We just want to know you. The silence stretched, heavy and thick. Then, a soft creak. The rocking chair moved, just honest, as if nudged by an unseen hand. Ben gasped, but Lily smiled. She's listening, sh said. Ellen's voice was gentle. Clara, this is our home now. We're a family, like you and your husband were. We'll take care of this place. We promise. The air seemed to lighten, as if a weight had lifted. The veil didn't come again that night, or any night after. The Carters settled into the house, painting walls, fixing leaks, and planting flowers in the yard. The kids made the upstairs room their own, keeping the rocking chair as a quiet note to Clara. Sometimes, on still nights, Tate heard a faint hum, like a lullaby, but it was warm, comforting, as if Clara approved. Months passed, and the house transformed. The porch no longer sagged, and the windows sparkled in the sun. Tom found work at a nearby farm, and Ellen started a small baking business, helping driving neighbors from miles around. Lily and Ben made friends at the village school, tear later filling the honest quiet house. One evening, as the family sat on the porch watching the sunset, Lily spoke up. I think Clara's happy now. As if she just needed to know the house was lived again. Tom skizzed illness hand, his heart full. The house wasn't just a roof over their heads, it was a home, woven with their story and Clara's too. The fields glowed golden, and the wind carried a soft hum, like a sigh of contentment. And in the quiet of Willow Lane, the old house stood proud, no longer alone,